How's it going, folks? How's it going? You already know the waves, and for sure, you already know the vibes. It is Zachariah White, a.k.a. King Big Daddy Drip, back at it like it's nothing with this drip and the sauce, cause I am the boss. I am back. We are here. Happy good day to every single one of you ladies and gentlemen out there in the world. All right. I hope you guys are having a terrific and a thankful Thursday on this go around. All right. And by the time that you guys see this video, it's likely going to be Friday. All right. So overall, I hope y'all are having a fantastic Friday. And just regardless of what day that it happens to be, pat yourselves on the back because we made it out through another week. All right. Another week of hard work. Some folks, they ended up trailblazing through it like it was nothing. And then other folks, man, it was a dog fight, but they ended up getting up out of there, man. They still ended up making it through, you know. So all in all, it's something that's commendable. Y'all definitely make sure that y'all pat yourselves on the back. All right. And I know that typically whenever it is that I make these particular videos, you know, it's always another episode of the news of the people, the news of the world. But this one's gonna be something a little different. All right. Of course, this is I don't even know if y'all even recognize, because I know it's been a little minute since I've done one of these episodes, but we have the Royal High Table. The Royal High Table, of course, presented and owned by the Internal Spear. All right, so that's gonna be all me. All right. But even also, I know probably it was the last time, it was like about a month or so, that we ended up doing another like an episode of the Royal Round Table. All right, so you know, again, y'all, I'm trying to get back in the swing of things when it comes to the podcast, and you know, just because, listen, something always takes my attention. You know, it always pulls me away from the podcasting, whether it be the gaming videos, whether it be, you know, trying to go through and legitimize these businesses, the customizing the clothing, customizing these different things, or whether it be the musical performances. It's always something, man. But nonetheless, though, we are back, we are here, you know, for sure, man. All right. But and also, I'll say this, for this particular episode, it's going to be rather short, and that is how I'm going to try to make sure that I'm consistent with it, right? Because what I like to do is make sure that I get an episode out, you know, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, and just keep going and keep building and keep building and keep building, you know. And also, I'd like to get to you know, get my dog Maya back up in the mix, as well as Logan, you know, as well as Mason, Ali, and yo, I'll say this, we have more folks now a part of the External Spear than we did before. So, you know, definitely got to get back to it when it comes to the podcasting grind and shine, man. But all in all, I do want to thank y'all so much for joining me for another go around. And I'll say this, just because this is going to be a relatively short episode, right? I'm gonna just tell y'all the overall like layout of the Royal High Table. I'm gonna try and focus it on one particular question. I'm gonna try and focus on one particular question, or let's say a couple of them, right? Maybe it'll make it easier for cutting it up or whichever. Because I need to make sure, like, whenever it is that I say that I'm going to throw out a poll just to see what you guys think, I really need to hold to it, because there's lots of times where, you know, I get so caught up in trying to post the video out, you know, to all the different platforms, that I don't even actually, I don't necessarily make time or have the time to you know, post the poll. So I'm gonna do better on that as well. But you know, I've got a list of questions here. You know, do I know which one I'm gonna answer? No, I know I've already answered some of them before. I might mess around and pick the same damn question that I already answered. But nonetheless, man, shoot, we here, and I do thank y'all so much for, of course, joining me for another occasion, joining the king, joining the kingdoms, joining the empires, man. All right. But I will say this, of course, just before we get started with this episode, man. All right, y'all know matter of fact, this is what I'm going to give it an official name, and I'll say it is the royal acknowledgement, right? The royal acknowledgement. We always got to start every single episode of the Royal High Table and the Royal Round Table off with this, right? Everybody is, and I don't know if anybody's told y'all this before, but everybody is a king, queen, god, goddess, emperor, empress, boss. Everybody has that higher form, higher version, the best version of themselves. All right. Now, whether or not folks know what that looks like, and whether or not folks know what it is that they really own shit in, hey, man. I mean, some folks do, some folks don't. Some folks have multiple. Some folks may have one. Hey, everybody's different. Different strokes for different folks. But all in all, life is all about I'll say life is about many different things, but life is definitely about finding that niche, whatever it is that it is for you. All right, and it's easier said than done, but nonetheless, though, that's when I was giving every single one of y'all, my brothers and sisters, all right, worldwide, giving y'all props. That was also part of it in mind, because of course we're going through this particular journey. For some folks, hey, listen, they're killing that shit like it's nothing, and other folks, man, they going through, they battling it out, but nonetheless, everybody is still running the same leg of the race, and all in all, regardless of what happens, man, it's something that needs to be commended. But all in all, another all in all, all right, y'all definitely make sure, all right, that I don't care if it's your physical crowns, your spiritual crowns, your emotional crowns, I don't care what it is, y'all make sure that y'all put it on, and y'all wear that loud and proud, not only just for yourself, but you wear it loud and proud for who and what you represent, and to let the entire world know what's up. All right. Now, typically in the older episodes, I'd like have the crown off, but y'all know, man, shoot, I always got the crown on. So, I got the crown beanie. I'ma just, just to lead the way, man. But you know what? We here. All right. That's enough of me going on with the royal acknowledgement. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video, or pause the music rather, and I'm gonna pick one question. All right. And let me see. It's right here. Okay. Now, honestly, and just because I want this to, well, for my folks that happen to be watching this video, whether it be on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, wherever it is that you happen to be watching it, maybe outside of Spotify, or, if you guys are watching this or viewing this on, like a podcasting streaming services, or a podcasting streaming site, y'all may not see this, right? But for my folks, there is literally so many different questions. There's so many of them, right? And I'm gonna take a little bit of time to talk about at least one, right? Let me set this back down. And honestly, even the last time that we had a podcast episode, again, it was me and Maya up in the mix, and big shout outs to Logan, because Logan was our sponsor. He allowed for us to go through and record the episode at his crib. So big shout outs to him for that. But honestly, I forget what, I think one of the questions that I happen to be looking at right now is if you could go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be? I think I asked Maya that, and I think I've already answered that before, as well as what's an insult you've received that you're proud of. That's another one that we've answered. But let's see, as well as what do people misunderstand about you? Answered that, asked and answered. Let's see. Okay, I think I have one. I may have answered this question like in the way far back, one of the video, like one of the episodes of the Royal High Table. That's all the way back. Y'all may have to go and search for that. But the question that I'm gonna pose to y'all, and I'm gonna do my best to make sure that I actually like put it in poll format so that y'all can answer is, first, what is your favorite color? And then also, what does it say about you? All right. I hope to God, well, first off, pardon me, all the stuff, round the house just falling all over the place. But what does your favorite color say about you? Again, that may have been a question that me and Maya already asked and answered. But what does your favorite color, or what's your favorite color and what does it say about you? I'm gonna tell y'all this, right? Just off rip. First off, when it comes to the internal sphere, I like all the colors. All right, I have kingdoms based off of, or pardon me, empires based off of color. All right, so I pretty much I like all the colors, or let's just say I haven't come across a color that I didn't like, right? But my favorite ones, and then of course I'm gonna narrow it down to to my favorite one. My favorite ones have got to be. I love me some yellow. Well, it's funny because I love me some yellow. I love me some pink. I honestly should get more clothing in that particular what's it called? More clothing of like with those colors. But yeah, no, I love me some pink. I love me some yellow, especially candy, especially the candy too. Like you say, like candy Skittles or Jolly Ranchers or whichever. I know I did for red. I like not even just red in and of itself. I'll say every like just the red family, if you will. So going down the line, we're talking like red, we're talking burgundy, we're talking I guess vinegar red or wine red or something like that. So that's also up there. But by far my favorite color is is the hardest one to keep clean. White is my favorite color, and of course I mentioned it before, at the start of this particular video, this short mini episode, man. Listen, White, Zachariah White. That's my last name. That's my last name. But honestly, even before I get into what it means to me, and which, by the way, there's a separate question that I was honestly thinking of in my head, that I'm gonna ask y'all as well. That I'm gonna ask y'all, but I'm gonna save it off for a little bit, right? What does the color white mean? I'm just gonna find something. I'm just gonna find something, right? And I won't even. I see something off of Adobe. There's a couple of things, right? So let's see. I'm not gonna hold you. There is so much fucking information. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. But big shout. I've got two sources, right? So the first source that I have, in terms of what white, I guess the color white means, right? Comes from verywellmind.com. So big shout outs to Verywellmind. But according to that particular source, the color white has a number of different meanings and associations. Of course. Although these, of course, they vary depending on the person and the culture. But some of the main associations are that, the color white is associated and connotated with purity, innocence, cleanliness, blankness, coldness, emptiness, simplicity, minimalism. This article discusses the meaning of color and some of the positive and negative associations. Well, I think honestly, even within that short little description, it already went into what may have been discussed. But I'm also going to, what's it called? I've got a little bit of something from adobe.com. Let me see. All right, so I'm gonna just read the first thing off of this particular page, in which, of course, the as far as what the color white means, I'm certain that they're gonna align more or less. But what is the color? Well, what is the meaning of the color white? Right? What you see when you imagine a color white depends on. Of course, it depends on depends on what. Honestly, never mind. Because now that I was starting to read it, and then I read the little description. It's like a build up to all the same stuff that was mentioned on verywellmind.com. You know what? I won't even do y'all like that and just repeat the same information. But going back to the definition, of course, posed by Verywellmind, and also going back to, what the original question was, what does that say about you? Wow. I mean, of course, it definitely says a good bit of things. I know, to me, like, I'm a matter of fact, there. Before I get into what white, how it relates to me, I'm gonna go ahead and name one thing. Well, I guess to some degree, this particular concept is applicable to me. When I saw the term minimalism, right? Like, what I thought of was, like, I guess all of, like, I'm, how should I say, when it comes to what I want, not necessarily what I want of people, but just all of what it is that I want out of life. I tell you this, I definitely do want a lot. And I definitely do want. I want a whole lot. I see a whole lot, and I'm doing my best to get a whole lot. I tell you that much. But so initially, when I saw minimalism, I was like, I don't know, because I own quite a lot of different things. I'm getting, and of course, God's blessed me in the past, and God is right there by my side, continuing to bless me again and again and again and again. So definitely. And not only that too, it's one of those things where I sort of, like, again, like I said, I want more, and I know I'm saying want more, like, Zachariah, what does more mean? Like, what, you haven't said anything. Like, what I mean by more, like, I'm gonna start with the material and then get to the meaningful stuff. So as far as like material things, I know that, especially being just being a religious person, being a religious person, of course, is one of those things where you definitely it's a well-known lesson not to let the materials control you, right? And especially control you so much so to the point that you start making questionable decisions and take, I guess, just overall doing and just partaking in shit that just honestly is just not in one's best interest, whether it be like just one's individual self-interest or the self-interest of other folks as well. But nonetheless, though, and I'll say I feel I've got a pretty good grasp, even despite having so many different things, pretty good grasp. And it's not one of those things where I'm risking it. I'm risking everything. I'm cutthroat trying to get the material things. But nah, I definitely do want a whole lot. So for instance, God's blessed me, God has definitely blessed me with a place to live, but I'd love to own more property, to own more houses, own office spaces, own, warehouses, stuff of that particular sort. I'd love to own, and fortune, God's blessed me again, because I do happen to have multiple vehicles. So God has blessed me with multiple vehicles. I'd love to have even more vehicles, say for instance clothes. Listen, every single day, if putting on a suit, man, and I tell you this, whatever it is that I wear on one day, it's not one of those things where I have to worry about it being the same combination come the next day. There's enough pieces there for me to mix up, as to whereas I won't repeat the same suit combination. But nonetheless, I want even more of that, the jewelry, the nice jewelry, the crowns, and the crown beanies, and everything else. I want a lot. I want a lot. And honestly, I know, again, it sort of like contradicts and goes against, it sort of goes against, I don't even mean to make this an episode of me talking so much on religion, or trying to be that one person, or that one person that pushes that on y'all. But no, like, even despite the fact that it may not be, it may not be what's, like, it contradicts the whole premise of hey, being humble and listen, just utilizing what you need, and being just being happy and being grateful. I am definitely being humble and being grateful, but I don't know, man. I think for me, even in wanting, wanting all the stuff. Even I pause. Even in having a whole lot, I've especially over time gotten really good at figuring out how to utilize. Even once I get things, how to utilize them, not only just for my betterment, but for the betterment of someone else out there in the world. All right. Now, the intention, I'm trying to help as many people as possible out in the world. It's that particular premise. That's why a lot of things ended up starting. It's why there's so many different gameplay videos. It's why we got the podcast episode. It's why we got the music. It's honestly why we doing the photo shoots. It's why so many different things. It's one of those things of rather than even like with great power comes great responsibility. I'm sure y'all know that, but even just to tweak it and amend it to what it is that we're talking about, like with many and great possessions come great responsibilities. You definitely got to figure out how to utilize it and leverage it to, again, help out not only just yourself or not even just one particular person, but try to spread the goodness and the positivity and the benefits all over the place, man, all over the place. So for me, going back to because I know I went on a tangent, but going back to the concept of minimalism and simplicity, I guess minimalism is definitely not something that I've ever really subscribed to, and it's one of those things where I feel like I'm not even gonna say I feel like there's times where I literally tried to go the minimalist route. There are times where, again, I found myself doing a poor job, or being dissatisfied with myself in terms of managing, all the different stuff, and I'll just say all the different stuff in general, whether it be possessions, whether it be just involvements, obligations, responsibilities, things of that particular sort, and every single time that I tried to like regress and let's say just stop altogether, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's just not within me. Even as much of a struggle as it is, hey, listen, I got to struggle through it until I see it out on the other side. So that's just sort of that's just how. That's just how I'm not gonna say how I'm raised, but that's just what's ingrained up in my system, man. So I do. It's something about that minimalism that does have me thinking like, that to me that doesn't necessarily apply. But hey, I don't know. But there's other things like say for instance, purity, innocence, cleanliness, blankness, coldness, emptiness, well, I think I just said simplicity. Some, and even just as I'm going down the list, some of those I do agree with. Like the purity, the innocence, and cleanliness. I know for me, y'all, I do not want to give off the impression to any of y'all that say, for instance, I'm the most good, or I'm so much of an angel, blase, all that other sort of jazz. But what I do know, and of course, many folks, that know me know that I'll say this: I definitely do try. And when it comes, listen, I may not be perfect Patty or whatever. But I'm definitely I've done and doing enough to the point where I haven't just been respectable, just for a short bit of time. I've been respectable and respectful for quite a long time. So when I think it's enough so to the point that me carrying the name Zachariah White, specifically the last name White, and knowing all of hell, even all of the meanings that seem to come with it, even on this particular website, it's everything just sort of the stars align in that particular respect, as far as like a coldness and emptiness. I mean, yeah, I definitely can speak to some of that coldness, the emptiness, like emptiness. And I think I won't speak too much on it because I again, there'll be story time for it, but I know, like, it's a crazy thing, because whenever it is, say that I find myself getting hurt, or let's say like something real major going down, that is like, say any normal person, they'd be angry, they'd be upset, they'd be crying, they'd, you know, they you know, they'd go through the motions. Whenever it is that I've seen that, whenever it is that I've gotten hit with some really hard blows from life, I'm not gonna hold you, I do feel empty. I feel like, and like empty as in, like, I know I got hit. It's like, oh shit, it happened. But it's one of those weird things where it's like, I got hit, but I can still keep going. You know. And so I do tend to keep going. I do keep, you know, whatever keep going is in that particular situation, I do hold it together, I do hold it strong. And it typically isn't up until, you know, later on, that like I see the effects, or feel the impact of what's actually happened, you know. So I guess to some degree that emptiness, though it may not be in the way that is mentioned on here on the website, but nah, definitely I could speak to that as well. But all in all, yeah, no, that's White. I think that's definitely it, though. It's definitely it. And honestly, and I'm gonna save this because again, I didn't. This episode isn't gonna be super long, but for the next episodes, I need to make a mental note that, you know, I gotta check out the other colors as well. I would love to know what a pink means, what a yellow means, you know, what a red means as well. So I love to see what that means. But that leads me to the next question that I had, right? In which I won't, you know, spend too much time, but I'm gonna ask y'all this, right? For your guys' name, right? Whatever that they may be, what does your name mean to you? What does your name mean to you? That is a question that I'm not gonna hold you. I was answering that earlier today, you know, because me and a good, and I'm gonna shout this friend of mine out too. Me and a good friend of, and I'll say definitely one of my Dunbar Tigers, Sarai. You know, we were talking a little bit earlier, and what ended we was talking about a number of different things, but you know, she ended up asking me. She was like, hey, like, do you go by Zach, or do you go by Zachariah? I was like, either or, man. This is perfectly fine with me. I've been called, you know, I've been called both of those many times in life. The only thing that I don't like, I guess the one name that I won't go by, or that I don't like Zachary. Nah, I do not like Zachary. And rest in peace to my mom. My mom never called me Zachary. Yeah, nah, that's not it. And for a little bit of time, like when I was, you know, younger, coming up, right? Well, again, I didn't have to worry too much about it, because like I said, my mom never called me that, my grandma never called me that. Like maybe some school teacher, you know, and I don't even mean to bring race into it. Like some white school teachers come through, you know, thinking, Zachary, whatever. But nah, for the most part, it's always been Zach or Zachariah. And like, I know I'm going through saying that, but I'm going to tie it all back to the original question of, you know, what does your name, like, what essentially the question is, what does your name mean to you, right? And for me, Zachary never quite. I'm not going by Zachary. Y'all listen, for all the folks out there, don't listen. Y'all could call me King, Emperor. Y'all could call me Big Daddy Drip, Zachariah. Don't. I'm not answering, and I'm not doing shit to Zachary. And let me say this. This is no disrespect to any of the Zacharys out there, because I've met quite a few Zacharys. I've only met one other Zachariah, but I've met quite a handful of Zacharys, and they've all been pretty cool. But I don't even want to mess around. I'll say this. I'm gonna mention this particular Zachary, like indirectly, because I don't. Again, guys, the Zachary that I have in mind definitely is cool, up, you know, upstandable guy. And I do not want for what it is that I'm about to say to come off as a shot in any particular way, because it's not a shot, you know. But whenever it is that I think of the word, like the name Zachary, right? And especially like when I think of the actual person, right? Like there's a Zachary that I ended up meeting not too long ago, and like of course, you know, he and I, you know, we both brothers, you know, bro, both melanated brothers, man. And like just you know, I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend to know every single thing about him, but you know, we've gotten to know each other a little bit, you know. And I know, of course, you know, comes from a good family. Not to say that I don't come from a good family, but you know, again, mom, father, you know, brothers, sisters, you know, family reunions, all that other sort of jazz, you know. Hey, kid, like I would say everything, like when you know, as I'm listening to his you know, him talk about his upbringing, you know, talking about, you know, what's like, you know, growing up, like it's I get a whole, like when it comes to like the family dynamic and everything of that particular sort, like I get like Family Matters sort of kind of vibe, you know, like, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you know. Again, like I said, you got the male figure, you got the female figure, you got the siblings there, you got the extended family going on, you know, godfather, godmother, you know, you got and you also have the other folks a part of your family, like the aunties, the uncles, the cousins, the you know, grandma, grandpa, great grandma, great grandpas, you know. That's not to say that the Zachary that I have in mind, you know, had all, let's just say this, had enough of that, right? You know. And whenever it is that I thought of that, I was like, and I was telling my friend Sarai about this as well. I was like, that does not describe, like that is not, like I won't go by Zachary or Zach, or like, I'll say this, the way how, like the way how everything happened within like my life story, my life journey, like I feel like that, again, going back to what I said a little bit about the last name, you know, having, you know, it Zachariah White. You know, I was talking about the emphasis of White. Now I'm talking about the emphasis of Zachariah. You know, everything that I've went through up until this point, you know, has it that aligns up with a Zachariah. All right, because I tell you this, there's a whole lot of craziness, man. I'll start off with like the upbringing, you know. Because whenever it is that I think of a Zachary, I think of a, like, it's just more characteristics. I think of, you know, one got the collared shirt, the khakis going on. You know, I don't even mean to say ordinary, but you know, keeping it smooth, keeping it simple. You know, not doing too much, I guess, in what people describe nowadays as not doing too much, you know, not doing too much, you know, just cool, reserves, all the, you know, that along those sort of kind of lines, you know. And for me, Zachary just does not cut it, because you know, of course, we all in middle school at some point in time we had school uniforms, but I've not been, let's just say for a very long time, I've not been a college shirt khaki sort of kind of guy. I've been a yo, I'm pulling up in the, yo, listen, I got the full suit on, three piece tuxedo going on, you know. And then every single you know, stretch of time, you know, there's something else that's added on to it. You got and I tell you this, I'm not afraid to be extra. I'm not afraid well, I'm not afraid to, and let me say, in not, again, I keep prefacing this because I by no means is this a shot at anybody, you know, but not afraid to be myself. I tell you that much, you know. So Like, one, am I gonna pull up everywhere in a crown or in a crown beanie, with the I don't have the sash on today, but with the sash on or with the robe and crown, like just the whole get up every single day? Yes, I'm going to do that. Like, yes, I am going to be extra. Yeah, I'm a do all of that. One, because I'll say one, because that's who I am. I can. There's been so, listen. Ever since I was yay high, ever since I was a baby, me being me has rubbed folks the wrong way, made folks feel a certain type of way, wanted me to change and all that other sort of jazz, man. I'll say this. All in all, still the same, man. I still kept being me, and also, hell, soon enough, whether it be soon, whether it be later on, they end up coming around, man. So, all in all, nah, I just, Zachary doesn't seem to fit, my particular story, because I'll say again, going sort of kind of piggybacking and going off of what I mentioned a little bit before about how I know it's good to be minimalist, but minimalism is not in me. I can't do that shit. I'm There's always I'm always going to strive to improve and well, I'll say I'm always going to strive for more, right? And then whether I get it or not, what I'm going to do with what it is that I have, I'm going to take it, not only just use it for myself, but figure out, and not even just use it for material purposes or the most basic purposes, but find out ways how I can use it in a multitude of different ways so that I'm hitting every single thing, right? So, and that, for me, that I feel like that empowers me more. Like, yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna be extra. I'm definitely gonna, go through. Even it may make me stand out. Listen. I may be the flashiest, ostentatious, whatever. But hey, listen, I tell, and folks may misunderstand me. I don't even care. All right, this is who I am. This is what the hell I'm going to do. And I tell you this too. Whenever it is that those folks get through, stop doing all they gossip, bullshit, talking or whatever, and they come and talk to the king and find out why the fuck the king does what he does. I tell you this, they gon' respect it. Like, they gonna go from hating it and shit talking it to respecting it, and then they gonna go to loving it. So, and then if they really fuck with it, they might also start doing the same shit too. So, so we got that going on. But yeah, I guess when it comes to the name Zachariah, like Flash is definitely something that is it's just within the nature. I can't, like, it's the sort of flavor, the seasoning. Without that, that doesn't even fully, like, there'd be something missing from me, and also be something missing from the story and the legacy and the everything that's been going on. So that's another thing that I thought about as that. And that, again, like I said, I didn't tell my friend this, but no, this was just something that I was just thinking about just throughout the day. So all in all, I'm gonna say this. I happen to be out of thoughts on this particular go around. All right, I'm definitely, again, anything that we talk about is definitely subject to be brought back up in another previous episode, whether it be the royal high table of the internal sphere or the royal round table of the external sphere. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to play that music, because it is about that time for us to go ahead and, cool it down. Let's go ahead and send it up on out of here, man. All right. I do thank y'all so much for joining me for a quick mini episode. All right. Again, y'all, for these questions that I'm talking about, right? Like, what's your favorite color? What does it mean? What does your name mean? And honestly, you can say first, middle, last name, whichever, I want to see, I know we the format of this particular episode was not that in a way of we could have like a live conversation, but don't worry, that's gonna be coming soon enough. It's gonna be coming soon enough, all right? But nonetheless, though, I still do want to hear what you guys have to say, whether it be with regards to your answer to the question or in response to anything that I said, whether you agree with it, disagree with it, or whatever. You know, y'all just go ahead and let me know down in the comment section below, all right? Or hit me up in my DMs too, whichever, or make y'all, you know, whichever is most comfortable and convenient for you guys. But all in all, though, that is all that I have for this particular go around. Again, thank y'all so much for supporting the king, supporting the internal spear, supporting the royal high table, man. All right, and all the other kingdoms and the empires that we got going on. But of course, all right, I don't care what platform y'all are on. Y'all make sure that y'all like this video up. All right, y'all like this podcast up. Y'all share this with any and everybody. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow my social media pages. I don't care what it is. TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. If you type up Zachariah White or King Big Daddy Drip, you are going to find something on me. I am not a hard guy to find on these social media platforms. So y'all keep that in mind. But the most important thing, y'all make sure that y'all stay tuned, stay tapped in, and stay locked in, because the juice over here never stops dripping. All right? All right. I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace, be easy, and as always, y'all stay blessed up.